Hi everyone, my name is Jauhar and I'm a Solutions Architect on the Selent Partner API team. In this video, I will help you understand the usage plans and rate limits of SPA API. Let's jump into it. SPA API puts in place a usage plan and rate limiting mechanism. These help ensure the API's reliability and protect its services against overload during peak usage times. Sizing capacity and resources over time in an ever-changing application landscape is essential, and usage plans are a way to achieve this while maintaining API reliability. APIs can use different implementations and algorithms to manage usage plans and rate limits. SPA API requests are rate limited using the token bucket algorithm. The basic idea of this algorithm is a bucket containing tokens, while each token is exchanged to allow for an API request. The bucket is refilled with tokens at a defined rate per second. Throttling occurs when no tokens are available for exchange. Let's see how this works in action and understand what rate and burst are. Rate and burst are two elements that define a usage plan for an API. The rate value is the number of tokens per second added to the bucket, while the burst value is the maximum number of tokens the bucket can hold. Now let's see an example on a timeline. Here we have a bucket initially containing 2 tokens, or a burst of 2. We take a quarter tokens per second as the rate. At T1, the user executes a request. 1 token is exchanged and thus dropped from the bucket. The request is allowed to reach the server. At T2, or 1 second later, the last token available in the bucket is exchanged, and the request also reaches the server. Now a second later at T3, the bucket is empty. The user executes a request, but there are no tokens to exchange. The request is thus not allowed and throttling occurs. Fast forward at T5 or 4 seconds later to T1, the bucket is now filled with a full token. The user's request successfully reaches the server. Now let's check how this works with the real operation from the Selent Partner API. For this example, we will look at the product fees or the get my fees estimate for school operation in particular. At the time of this video, the defined usage plan for this operation is a rate of 1 request per second and a burst of 2. The bucket is initially filled with 2 tokens, or the burst amount from the usage plan. Each request time is noted below each bucket. The application on behalf of Selent Partner, ID specified below, executes a request for the get my fees estimate for school operation. 1 token is exchanged and the request is allowed. 100 milliseconds later, a similar request is triggered. The bucket still has 1 token to exchange and thus the request is also allowed. Another 100 milliseconds later, the tokens are now depleted, but 1 second hasn't passed yet for the bucket to get filled. A request is triggered, but there are no tokens to exchange, thus the request is not allowed and throttling occurs. Fast forward, after 1 second has passed, the rate filling starts to apply, with tokens being added to the bucket. Once the burst or 2 tokens is reached, no more tokens are added. Now with a better understanding of the token bucket algorithm and usage plans, it's time to dive into the criteria against which these are applied. The rate limiting criteria define the level at which the usage plans are valid. This basically answers questions such as how many buckets are actually there. Is it a single bucket, a bucket for every seller, or a bucket for every application? In the Selent Partner API, rate limits are defined at the API operation path level, meaning that every operation has its own usage plan. Each operation, even within the same API section, for example Catalog Items API, reserve its own plan. Now SPA API applications are clients identified by an application ID, which are authorized by Selent Partner accounts identified by an account or customer ID. Most usage plans in SPA API are defined on the application ID customer ID pair, meaning that an application's rate limits are not shared between all its authorizing Selent partners, but rather it has separate buckets for every Selent partner. Region and marketplaces are also defining criteria for usage plans assignment. This comes down to the Selent partner having different accounts and accordingly different customer IDs for each regional account, such as an account in North America and another in Europe. The Selent partner in these cases authorizes the application from each account. Inherently, Rate limits are unique for each authorization. Note that different marketplaces might be part of the same regional account and share the same customer ID or merchant token for the same selling partner. This, for instance, applies to the EU region. In such case, the same rate limit and bucket is shared across every marketplace. Grantless operations are an exception, and the criteria applies on the application level. This comes down to the fact that grantless operations do not require an authorization by a selling partner. Examples of grantless operations are destination management operations of the Notifications API or the secret rotation operation of the Application Management API. Let's use the same example from the product fees operation to better understand the criteria. Here we have three different cases. First, at 200 milliseconds, the same application calls this operation on behalf of a different selling partner. Two tokens are available as this is a different selling partner application pair. The second, the same application calls on behalf of the first selling partner but in a different region, the NA region for example. Note here that the selling partner ID is different. This results in a different selling partner application pair, which explains why the bucket is full. In the last case, a different application calls on behalf of the same first selling partner, though in the same EU region. This also results in a different selling partner application pair, and thus the bucket is full. Next, let's explore the different types of usage plans we have. SP API comes with two types of usage plans: standard usage plans and dynamic usage plans. Standard usage plans apply to most selling partner APIs and represent static and predefined rate limits for each operation. These are published for every operation in each API reference. Dynamic usage plans, on the other hand, apply to certain operations only, such as the Orders v0 API. These plans automatically adjust the throughput of each selling partner based on a variety of current and historical metrics. The metrics are solely business metrics and are not based on the SP API call volume or frequency. Finally, you might be wondering how to avoid throttling. There are multiple techniques and mechanisms to employ in order to manage throttling and provide a smooth call pattern and distribution. Some of these are: implement and retry techniques to handle throttled calls. Algorithms such as exponential backups are one way to achieve this goal. Spread the load when it comes to the same workloads. Switching workloads to event-based workloads if applicable. This can be achieved using notifications instead of polling for data. Additionally, relying on batch operations when available is a great way to reduce the number of requests. Batch operations return data in bulk, as opposed to one-on-one requests which could quickly deplete the throughput. You can also identify frequently used data and cache it accordingly. It is recommended to monitor activity and traffic in order to identify and reduce redundant or unnecessary calls. Note here that SP API response to throttled requests will have their 429 status. The XAMC rate limit response header contains the limit, but is only returned on best effort basis within responses to successful requests. Understanding rate limits and usage plans is key to a reliable and scalable application. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the SP API channel for more videos and content. Bye!